Hey, I'm Wemerson from Preppers Community, and let me tell you something, things are getting weird out there. We've got pandemics, crazy weather, and the government's always got their own agenda. You ever get this feeling like they're not telling us everything? Like there's some stuff they don't want us to know? That's what we're diving into today. We're talking about the 10 survival supplies the government doesn't want you to have. These are the items that could make the difference between you and your family making it through a crisis or, not. This is about becoming self-sufficient, man, not relying on anyone, especially not the government, for your basic needs. It's about taking control of your own destiny. So buckle up, because this is gonna be a wild ride. Before we get into it though, do me a favor and hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and smash that notification bell. We're dropping truth bombs here, and you don't want to miss out. Alright, let's talk about the basics, man. Food. You need it to survive, right? And when disaster strikes, you can bet your ass the grocery store shelves are going to be empty faster than you can say apocalypse. That's where canned foods come in, my friend. We're talking beans, tuna, soup, fruits, vegetables, the whole 9 yards. These things are like little survival time capsules, packed with nutrients and ready to eat whenever you need them. And the best part? They last for years, man. Years! Think about it. You could build a whole stockpile of canned goods, enough to feed your family for months, maybe even years, and the government can't say a damn thing about it. It's your own personal food security system. They don't want you to know this, but having a stash of canned goods gives you power. It means you're not beholden to anyone, especially not the powers that be, when it comes to putting food on the table. Now, you might be thinking, Wemerson, why would the government care if I have a few cans of beans in my pantry? And that's a fair question. But here's the thing, they thrive on control, man. They want you dependent on them, reliant on their handouts. They want you to believe that you can't survive without them. But that's just not true. When you have your own food supply, you become a threat to their whole system. You're no longer a sheep, you're a wolf. You're independent, self-sufficient, and that scares the hell out of them. Think about it. What happens when everyone starts stocking up on canned goods? The grocery stores start running low, people start asking questions, and suddenly the government's illusion of control starts to crumble. They can't have that, can they? Alright, we talked about food, but what's even more important than food? Water, man. You can survive for weeks without food, but only a few days without water. It's the elixir of life, and in a crisis situation, it's going to be more valuable than gold. Now, you could try to stockpile bottled water, but that's only a temporary solution. You're going to need a sustainable source of clean drinking water, and that's where water filtration systems come in. These things are like magic, man. They can take even the dirtiest water, stuff you wouldn't even want to touch, and turn it into clean, drinkable H2O. We're talking about filtering out bacteria, viruses, parasites, heavy metals, the whole shebang. And the best part? There are tons of different types of water filtration systems out there, from portable ones you can take with you on the go to whole house systems that can supply your entire family with clean water for years to come. Now, why would the government be hesitant about you having a water filtration system? Well, think about it. They control the water supply, right? They decide what goes in it, how much it costs, and where it goes. When you have your own water filtration system, you're basically telling them to shove it. You're saying, I don't need your tainted water, man. I can take care of myself. And that, my friends, is a powerful thing. It's about freedom, man. Freedom from relying on a system that may or may not have your best interests at heart. It's about taking control of your own survival and ensuring that you and your family have access to the most basic human need, clean water. They don't want you to have that freedom. They want you dependent, scared, and willing to do whatever it takes to get a sip of their precious water. But not you. You're smarter than that. You're a prepper, and you know the importance of having a reliable water filtration system. Alright, we're talking serious survival here. And number 3 is a big one. First aid kits. I'm not talking about a couple Band-Aids and some aspirin. I'm talking about the real deal. You know, stuff to patch up a wound, stop some bleeding, maybe even set a bone if you have to. And you gotta know how to use this stuff, man. Take a course, watch some videos, whatever. Because when things go sideways, you might be your own first responder. And let me tell you, that's a scary thought, man. But here's the thing. The powers that be, they don't necessarily want you to be prepared. They want you reliant on the system, on their system. Think about it. If everyone's walking around with their own medical supplies, knowing how to use them, it changes things. It gives people a sense of independence, of self-reliance. And that, my friends, is something they don't always want. Look, I'm not saying it's some big conspiracy, but it's about control, man. They want to be the ones with the resources, the knowledge, the power. They want you to think you need them to survive, but you don't. You've got the power to take care of yourself, to take care of your loved ones. That's why having a first aid kit is so important. It's not just about the supplies, it's about the knowledge that comes with it. It's about taking control of your own well-being, your own destiny. And that, my friends, is a powerful thing. Alright, let's talk about food, man. Specifically, the kind of food that lasts. I'm talking rice, beans, lentils, all that good stuff. You know, the stuff that can sit in your pantry for years and still be good to go when you need it. Now, some people might call this prepping or whatever, but I call it being prepared. It's just common sense, man. You never know what's going to happen. Natural disaster, economic collapse, zombie apocalypse, whatever. Having a stockpile of non-perishable food can be the difference between eating and, well, not eating. And let's be honest, nobody wants to be caught in a situation where they're scrounging for scraps. But here's the thing, man. This whole idea of being self-sufficient, of not relying on the system for your basic needs, it freaks some people out. They want you to be dependent on them, on the grocery stores, on the government handouts. Because when you're dependent, you're easier to control. But when you've got a year's worth of rice and beans tucked away, you're not so easily swayed. You've got options, man. You've got freedom, and that's a beautiful thing. Alright, let's talk tools. And I'm not talking about your dad's rusty old hammer and screwdriver set. I'm talking about multi-tools, man. These things are like the Swiss Army knives of the survival world. You've got your pliers, your screwdrivers, your knives, your saws, sometimes even a bottle opener for those post-apocalyptic beers. It's like having a whole toolbox in your pocket. And let me tell you, in a survival situation, having the right tool for the job can make all the difference. Now, I know what you're thinking. Wemerson, what's so controversial about a multi-tool? And you're right, on the surface, it seems pretty innocuous. But think about it, man. A multi-tool is all about self-reliance. It's about being able to handle whatever situation you're in without having to call for help. And that's something they don't always want you to have. They want you to be dependent on the system, on their experts, on their solutions. But with a multi-tool in your hand, you become your own expert. You become your own solution. And that, my friends, is a powerful thing. Now, before we dive into the 10 secret survival supplies the government doesn't want you to have, there's something crucial I need to share with you. If you're serious about being prepared for the unexpected, you absolutely must check out The Stockpile Savior by Mark Anderson. This isn't just any survival manual. It's the definitive guide that every prepper in the US needs. Anderson reveals not just what to stockpile, but also how to secure food, water, and other critical resources when the world turns upside down. Remember, it's not about if disaster strikes, but when, and you want to be ready. What sets this book apart is its focus on true self-sufficiency. It teaches you essential skills like long-term food preservation and resource improvisation, helping you avoid the pitfalls that can leave others scrambling in a crisis. For anyone committed to preparedness, this book is invaluable. Don't wait until it's too late. Click the link in the description to grab your copy of The Stockpile Savior. I guarantee you'll find life-changing strategies packed within its pages that will empower you to take control of your future. Alright folks, we're talking about staying alive when the grid goes down, and believe me, it can happen. You need power, right? Communication, light, all that stuff. What happens when your phone's dead? You're screwed. That's why batteries and solar chargers are your best friends. Not the little AA kind. I'm talking serious power banks, something that can juice up your phone multiple times. And solar chargers? Game changer, man. Free energy from the sun. The man doesn't want you to have this stuff, man. They want you dependent, relying on the grid. But with a little ingenuity, you can be your own power source. It's like having freedom in your pocket. Think about it. When the lights go out, you'll be the guy with the charged phone, the lantern, the ability to cook on an induction stove. You'll be a beacon of hope in a sea of darkness. Now, I'm not saying go full-on doomsday prepper living off the grid, but a little preparedness goes a long way. Imagine a natural disaster, hurricane, earthquake, whatever, power's out, chaos everywhere. You, my friend, you're chilling. You've got your solar panels soaking up the rays, charging up your batteries, keeping your essential devices running. You're connected, informed, and safe. That's peace of mind right there. And it's not just about survival, it's about freedom. Freedom from the grid, freedom from dependence. You're self-sufficient, capable, a true individualist. And that, my friends, is a beautiful thing. So, do yourself a favor, invest in some quality batteries, a good solar charger, and get yourself some peace of mind. Because when the unexpected happens, you'll be ready. You'll be empowered. You'll be golden, my friend. We're talking survival here, people. And when it comes to staying alive, temperature regulation is key. You get too cold, hypothermia sets in, and it's game over. That's why you need to understand the power of the emergency blanket. Yeah, it looks like a giant sheet of tinfoil. But don't let that fool you. This thing can save your life. It reflects your body heat back to you, keeping you warm even in freezing conditions. It's basic science, but incredibly effective. They don't want you to know about this stuff, man. They want you reliant on their shelters, their resources. But with an emergency blanket, you become independent. You can survive on your own terms. These things are cheap too. You can get a whole pack of them for like $20. It's a no-brainer, folks. Keep one in your car, your backpack, your bug-out bag. You never know when you might need it. Imagine this. You're stranded in the wilderness, maybe your car broke down, or you got lost on a hike. The sun's going down, the temperature's dropping, and you're starting to shiver. That's when you pull out your trusty emergency blanket. You wrap yourself up in that shiny salvation, and boom, instant warmth. It's like a portable sauna, reflecting your body heat back to you, keeping those chills at bay. You can make it through the night, man. You'll be alive to see the sunrise. And it's not just about warmth. These things can be used for signaling, for shelter, for collecting rainwater. It's like a multi-purpose survival tool, disguised as a flimsy sheet of plastic. Don't underestimate it. So, do yourself a favor, stock up on some emergency blankets. They're lightweight, they're compact, and they could be the difference between life and death. Trust me, you'll thank me later. Let's talk about shelter, people. When disaster strikes, you need a safe place to hunker down, a sanctuary from the storm. That's where camping gear comes in. We're talking tents, sleeping bags, the whole 9 yards. Now, I know what you're thinking. Wemerson, I live in a house, I don't need a tent. But here's the thing, your house isn't always an option. Natural disasters, civil unrest, you name it, sometimes you gotta evacuate. And when that happens, you need a backup plan. The powers that be, they don't want you to be self-sufficient. They want you reliant on their shelters, their systems. But with a little bit of camping gear, you can create your own sanctuary. A place of refuge in the chaos. Think about it. Your own tent, your own sleeping bag, your own little slice of civilization in the midst of uncertainty. That's empowerment, man. Now, I'm not saying you need to go full-on Bear Grylls, living off the land, but a basic understanding of camping, of setting up a tent, of building a fire, it can be invaluable in a crisis. Imagine this. You've had to evacuate your home, there's chaos all around you, people are scared, resources are scarce. But you've got your camping gear. You find a safe spot, set up your tent, and boom, you've got a home away from home. You can sleep soundly, knowing you're protected from the elements, from the uncertainty. You've got a place to cook, to gather your thoughts, to regain a sense of normalcy in a world gone mad. So, invest in some quality camping gear, learn how to use it, and teach your loved ones how to do the same. Because when the shit hits the fan, you'll be prepared. You'll be self-sufficient. You'll be a goddamn survivalist, man. Alright, folks, let's talk fire. You know that primal element that separates us from the chimps? Essential for life, man. Keeps you warm, cooks your food, even scares away the weirdos in the woods at night. Now, the government, they know how important fire is. It's like that scene in Apocalypse Now, you remember? I love the smell of napalm in the morning. Control the fire, you control the situation. And that's why they don't want you to have fire starters. They want you reliant on them, huddled under a tarp, shivering your ass off, waiting for some FEMA dude to hand you a lukewarm MRE. Screw that, man. You need to be your own fire god. Stock up on fire starters, magnesium blocks, waterproof matches, a good ferro rod. I've even seen some crazy survival lighters that can start a fire in a hurricane. Learn how to use them, practice in different conditions. You get good at fire, you're basically unstoppable. You could be in the middle of nowhere, blizzard raging, and you'll be sipping hot bone broth like it's nothing. This is primal stuff, man. It's in our DNA. Don't let the government take that away from you. We live in a hyper-connected world, right? Always on our phones, texting, tweeting, whatever. But when the grid goes down, all that goes silent. And suddenly, communication, just talking to another human, becomes the most valuable thing. Think about it, man. You need to coordinate with your neighbors, find out what's happening, maybe call for help. But the cell towers are down, the internet's fried, and you're living in a real-life episode of The Walking Dead. That's why the government doesn't want you having independent communication. They want to control the flow of information, keep you in the dark, literally. But you're smarter than that. Get yourself some walkie-talkies, ham radios, hell, even learn some semaphore if you have to. The ability to communicate freely? That's power, man. Don't let them take it away from you. So, there you have it. The 10 survival supplies the government doesn't want you to have. Look, I'm not saying it's going to be the end of the world tomorrow, but let's be real. Things are getting weird out there. If you want to protect your family and ensure your safety, start stocking up on these items now. It's not about being paranoid. It's about being prepared. It's about taking responsibility for your own well-being. And hey, if you found this video helpful, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe to Preppers Community, and hit the bell for more content on how to prepare for what's ahead. Your safety is our priority.